team of analysts at the desk.
Thank you very much, Trevor. We heard a lot about picks and bans already. And for you, Damaro, one of the most interesting and maybe bad things of Unicorns of Love going into this draft must have been the Nautilus pick, especially banning out 2 junglers. And we saw it translated directly into a really bad early game for them.
Simply because Gambit opted in to first pick the Maokai, it kind of allowed them to pick the better jungler in the first rotation. I didn't understand why they wanted to last pick it. It made absolutely no sense. And at that point, like, Kikis has played Rek'Sai before, so it would have been a good pickup because of the jungle bans.
I mean, they picked Hecarim, and they picked a weak mid and a weak jungler. I was actually kind of surprised they didn't just lane swap. Although, like, you know, Hecarim's not the best in lane swaps, they at least have Jinx, so they can avoid the Urgot, like, early game stuff. So, I'm not really sure. Like, yeah, the last pick, Nautilus, kind of threw me off, and then, yeah, they didn't lane swap either. I think they kind of had too much confidence maybe coming in, or they just didn't respect that Gambit would, you know, take advantage of what they had.
Yeah.
And in the end, the things we hadn't seen from Gambit before, like the Urgot, like the Cho'Gath mid, it didn't matter because it was all about the top. And we know Gambit likes to play that way. And knowing that Cabochard is on Maokai, although you weren't particularly impressed with his Maokai the last couple of weeks, it worked out so well.
I think we see a massive improvement in his Maokai for sure. Sure, he got a lot of ganks, but his positioning in teamfights and his impact on the game was massive because of his kill participation. But I'm really happy to see these kind of comps, because these kind of comps are where, like, for example, Ahri is super weak against it, and it kind of goes back to my point I had yesterday.
All right, reiterating that one. I want to touch on something Trevor said about the mid lane matchup. Obviously, AP Cog, it needs to scale up, and we saw that it did a lot of damage late, but it was too little too late at that point. But the Cho'Gath, you guys did have some good words for Betsy and the way he played, not the matchup, but the way he pushed the lanes and made the teamfight influence.
Yeah, for sure. You want to take this one?
Yeah, about Cho'Gath mid. So I wasn't a fan when it first started coming out, and I think it's because no one really abused what Cho'Gath could do. And in that game, you'll see Betsy like pushing and roaming top or pushing and roaming bot. And the strength of this is mid laners can't really follow Cho'Gath, because if, you know, the catwalks of mid on the side are so easy to hit a rupture, and then if you do, it's like, well, now you're just getting chunked for free. And then that's not saying that they don't have a jungler close. So it's actually terrifying when a Cho'Gath pushes and moves, because you can't really follow unless you're playing like a really, really mobile champ like LeBlanc, and even that's just a bad lane, so.
Yeah, and testament to Betsy to recognizing when he should do that. We actually have a replay of that. Let's get that up on the screen where he does indeed that, pushes up the lane in the mid lane, and then Gambit take a bad engage, but they do end up winning. Jacob?
Yeah, so he's actually pushing this turret, and they don't have any deep vision, so they don't know where Nautilus is at all, and this could actually be bad for Betsy. But you see he's like Cho'Gath, he has so much confidence on this. He's actually pushing past this turret, and you see he's moving right now. Cog is stuck mid to clear this, and now he's just throwing Qs out. And if you get hit by a Q, you die. So boom, he's burning flashes with his 10-second cooldown on his Q. I mean, he gets caught here, which is not the best, but it just kind of shows like the strength of Cho'Gath. Like, it's not really punishable. You see him getting caught under turret. And then this is just the long, long, long fight where Cho'Gath actually is good in, because he's shooting so many ruptures, and once people don't have flash, they're going to get hit by the next one.
I think that actually, like, unpunishable kind of works for, like, Urgot as well, and Maokai as well. Like, this comp in mid-game in general is just so strong, because they just, like, have their power spikes in mid-game, and this is the point where they are basically the strongest.
Yeah, the Maokai was definitely unkillable. 2 things about that. Maokai is good because this was not a perfect engage. It did work out well because of their champions. But 2, we discussed about these 2 teams and how they are in the mid-game and they don't really know what to do. I'm still not completely convinced in terms of Gambit, because you see here that they take bad engages and they had so many skirmishes, but in the end they were so far ahead that it didn't matter in this one. Did you guys feel the same, or did you feel they played it out correctly?
I would have to say simply because of what Betsy did this game, as Prolly just said, about how he pushed and roamed. I think you can just keep it simple the mid game. You just push out mid and create pressure. Like, it doesn't have to be harder than that.
I mean, I do think I want to give Gambit a bit more credit, because at least their mid game, they pulled out 4 sweeper trinkets, 4 upgraded oracles. And honestly, I haven't seen that yet. I mean, maybe it's happened in another region and I'm not paying attention well and doing my job. But so far in EU, we haven't seen this 4 sweeper thing. So I think they have refurbished their mid game a bit. They have some kind of plan with these 4 sweepers. And I actually think, you know, in the coming games, maybe that wasn't like paramount of mid game play, but I think that it's definitely something that they've been improving on.
Yeah. Said the minute they got a little bit of an advantage and got into the jungle, they put those wards down. Finally, before we go into break, looking ahead to next game, the Unicorns of Love will be on the blue side. The question is, will BD be completely thrown off and throw all of their game plans out of the window because they have to focus on certain bans?
I think we will definitely see a Maokai ban from Gambit is what I want to see, but from Unicorns of Love side, I think they're in quite a pickle now because it's like a complete different comp and they just have to adjust like 2 bans, like the Cho'Gath and Urgot is what is key in this comp.
Yeah, like you said it before about them being unpunishable, and yeah, how do you punish a Maokai or a Cho'Gath or an Urgot? They're all like really safe for everything they do. So I think taking Urgot out is going to be really, really strong because I think, yeah, Gambit will take out Maokai for them, and then from then on, I think UOL will have a lot better game plan on blue side.
All right, we will see what Sheepy and the team come up with. We need to take a quick break, but when we return, the Unicorns of Love will try and even the score against Gambit Gaming. There's still a lot of leagues left to be played in this best of 5, so stick around.
I'm so excited. Can you sing that, Kigis?
I just can't hide it. Yeah. I don't know.
I know I like it. I like it.
What's up, dude?
You pumped, buddy?
Focused.
Oh, Diamond gets the knockup. That's another kill. Diamond is under attack from the tower, though. His kickers will be the next focus. Another knockup. A few more hits should do it. The minions and one more slam. Knockup from the Rapture. He's going to join the point. That's a flash feast. Betsy gets one on kickers.
We can go again. If they I'm going with home guards. Okay. There you go. Look, they're here. I will swap Kagma. Oh, JK. I got him.
Nice. One gun. Move up.
Take care. Nice.
We do see a TP coming in from Cabashot right behind Unicorns of Love. Mizuchachi forced to onslaught away as a defensive play, and he is down. A near flawlessly executed game 1 in their best of 5, ahead of all averages, demolishing the Unicorns of